Alright, what's up, guys? So, a YouTuber that goes by the name Nick, Crowley? I feel like I want to say it's like Crowley, but it could be Crowley. I don't know, tomato, bro. I'm bad with names. But anyways, they uploaded a video titled The Seattle Zombie Woman, an Internet Mystery. Fam, like, cause it's been a while. It's been a couple of years since I've like actually have got like to like step. Well, I mean, like if we count like the like road trips where I went through Seattle, like that was. I don't technically feel like I was like. I mean, I was in Seattle, but I wasn't like there walking around like how I was like when I was working in Seattle and stuff. So I have to say like it's been a good couple of years since I actually got to like step foot in Seattle. But any other time I was just in the car like just going through Seattle and stuff. I didn't really get time to like sit down and explore. I never seen no zombie woman, and I'm like, bruh, like if this was in the time frame of like 2016 to 2020, like. Bro, I could have very well been a zombie. I could be a zombie now. And the thing is, like, I don't know because, like, I don't know what it's like to be a zombie. So, like, I'm confused. Like, we don't know, like, a zombie's perspective. So, like, we did kind of see in that one movie, Warm Bodies. But I don't feel like that was, like, that wasn't, like, a true, legitimate, like, you got, like, to see a zombie. That would be a good movie, though, where you just see, like, a zombie's perspective, like, all throughout a movie and stuff. You just see him, like, tearing into people. Just like a regular, like, Walking Dead, like, type zombie, but it's just focused on them. You just see all the different things that they get into and that they do, like, groups and herds that they get. Bruh, I just came up with, like, a dope, like, movie idea. And then at the very end, like, you know, he's fighting with somebody and gets shot, and it, like, leads into, like, you know, whatever and stuff. So, bro, like, I'm telling you, I be coming up with some movies, man. But anyways, no, let's go ahead and check out this video. Make sure if you guys haven't, go subscribe to Nick for more videos like this. And then that being said,
Turning to the state of Washington is always
oh, this is a while ago, so okay, I'm good. I'm chilling. I'm chilling.
of this beautiful northwest corner of our nation.
Maybe it wasn't years ago. Oh no, okay, so no, I wasn't even in Washington or Seattle in 2021. So like I'm good. I'm chilling. So
21. A disturbance is reported alongside a popular roadway in Seattle, Washington, drawing heavy police presence to the area. According to witnesses on the scene, a woman had been spotted limping down the street, wailing in agony, while holding an unknown object in her hand. The woman was acting incredibly erratic and appeared to be seriously injured, though despite this, it had apparently taken as many as 8 police officers to subdue and restrain her.
oh wow,
And
dang.
this was far from the most chilling detail, with that being in the woman's appearance, as onlookers would go on to claim that there was something off about her face. It was unnatural, almost zombie-like. The story began as whispers among the community, with brief mentions being made across the
I don't even think that I don't know if you guys can really tell, but this is like my first time like hearing about any of this, so it's like I'm curious.
Though not many would take these posts seriously, as to outsiders, this seemed to be yet another internet hoax, or perhaps just some kind of extreme overreaction. But in reality,
There are a lot of, like, I'll tell you this much, for those that's never been in Seattle, there are, like, a lot of people on drugs. You know how many times I've seen people, like, slumped over like this on the sidewalk and things? They probably think they living on, like laying down on, like, some luxury mattress or something, but really they just, you know, in front of McDonald's just high off drugs or something. So, like, you'll see it. You'll see some. I've seen a woman get in a full-on squat position where her arms like this, peeing on the sidewalk and stuff. I've seen people passed out drunk, peeing on themselves on the sidewalk. I'm telling you, like, Seattle, you will see some things. It ain't something where it's like an everyday occurrence, but like there are at times where it's like, and who knows, maybe it is an everyday occurrence, or it's like a pick and choose like area of Seattle. It's like, okay, one day something might happen on this street, another day something might happen down the street, another day it might happen like uptown, and so it's like, you know, it's just you never really know.
This was a very real scene that played out that evening, and one that was about to be put on display for the whole world to see, as the first video would quickly emerge, thrusting this case into an international spotlight and giving birth to an internet mystery known today as the Seattle Zombie Woman. Before we dive into this, I just wanted to let you guys know that I have a brand new second channel called Crowley TV.
Crowley,
and over
okay.
there, I'm going to be exploring some mysteries and conspiracy theories in person. Overall, the channel's going to be a lot more fun and way less morbid than this channel over here, while also still exploring some of those dark and creepy themes. So if you guys are interested in checking that out, I will leave a link in the description below, and make sure you turn those post notifications on if you want to be alerted to my first upload. Thank you guys as always for your support.
That would be fun though. Like what, like his second channel, what it is, but either way, first footage of the incident emerges on the evening of May 5th, 2021. I did not hear about this. That's scary.
The video immediately took the world by storm, as it showed a woman with a ghostly pale face,
Wow.
with half her head shaven, as she limps across the street wearing only one shoe. And with each step she takes,
I don't know what kind of
she
drug
seems
that
to yell
is,
in
but
pain before the video quickly cuts.
like she's
In her
like,
hand appears to be the mysterious object,
like a
which
bag?
the uploader of the video claimed to be a fanny pack.
Yeah.
And disturbingly,
Like,
it
look.
appeared to be soaked in blood,
Yeah.
along with many other parts of the woman's body. In terms of context, there wasn't much, as despite the video going viral across the site,
bruh, that you got me with that one. I was like, what? I was all like, nah, bruh, that's how you get away. I mean, TikTok, you'll see some things, but I'm like, nah, man, like that's, dang, I hear nothing about any of this, man. And I'm like, bro, like, that's, like, I'm literally, like, outside of Seattle. Like, that's,
and on this
wow.
individual dubbed the Seattle Zombie Woman was practically non-existent. According to the uploader, police had arrived and intervened just after the recording had stopped, and that it had taken a full team of officers to ultimately restrain her and eventually take her away, likely
That's
to
crazy.
get some form of treatment, though they admit that they weren't sure what happened from there, or, just as importantly, what had led to this moment. Though interestingly enough, despite the fact that the answers were not emerging, other recordings certainly were. On the same day this now infamous TikTok was posted, another clip would be posted to YouTube by a separate user, seemingly showing a different angle of the same event, with this version being significantly longer.
That is scary. Yeah, if I was a cop, I'd be like, nah, I ain't messing with this. Like, you know, some drunks or it's like, you know, some any other situation, but I'm like, this in particular, I'm like, I don't know, man. That's scary.
Completely abnormal, with her eyes and lips appearing to be pitch black, which is a dramatic contrast to her pale complexion. All in all, she looks sickly and appears to be acting completely unhinged. Near her, multiple cops are seen attempting to calm her down, though she just continues walking and screaming, even escaping their grasp at the end of the video, while continuing her erratic behavior.
That is crazy.
From there, it's assumed that the struggle continued before finally coming to an end sometime later, which was showcased in yet another video posted to TikTok. And it's in this clip where the mystery takes a far darker turn, as we can hear the lady say her first discernible words.
Huh. That's crazy. Telling you, man, it's like, no, like, that's like one thing for sure. Like, you know, jokes aside and all that stuff, like, drugs is very serious out here. Like, I don't know how many times, like, not anything like this, but like I said, I've seen people, like, you know, just, there was one dude, he would literally go up to, like, signs and have beef with them. Like, literally, like, street signs, bro. Like, signs from, like, restaurants. I remember there was this, like, one, like, breakfast, like, place that was in Seattle. He seen that they was, like, I think it was, like, half off on some pancakes, and he's, like, doing that to the sign and stuff, and I'm like, okay, all right. So then there was another, I think, same dude. So it had to have been the same dude because he was the only one I ever seen beefing with signs. So there was another time I was going up to the Nike store and, like, if you guys like know that area like in Seattle and stuff like that leads up to the Nike store, there's this one road where you take where it has like a bunch of like no parking like signs and stuff. He's going up to like every sign, just straight decking them. So I stepped back. I went over to like on the side, and I'm like, okay, let me see this man walk ahead of me, because I'm like, nah, bro. It's like, I'm telling you, there's some people out there where it's like that. I'm trying to think of some other situations, like, yeah, you just see like people, they just be high off of stuff. There was a time I remember I was at Walgreens and I seen like was it, or no, not was it no, yeah, it was like that Walgreens. So it's that I can't, I'm bad with street names and all that, so I'm just bad with names, period. So, but there's that street where there's like the McDonald's, and then there's that Walgreens like up the street. It's kind of like in that like where like, and it's also like down, then that Walgreens like being like somewhat down the street from Target, like in that Pike Place area, if you guys know what I'm talking about. But anyways, I seen like a couple, they got like the front door, and they had to like, I think they got escorted out by some cops and stuff, because no, they were at that front door just acting wild. And so, no, man, I'm telling you, like, you are bound to see some like people high off drugs just like carrying on in the most weirdest ways and stuff. So it's a thing, man. I'm telling you, it's just it's wild.
The video shows the woman begging the officers not to take her to the hospital, pleading as if her life depended on it, and it only gets stranger and even more tragic as she begins pleading with them not to take her baby.
Wow. Yeah, she's on something.
This may seem like a random one-off comment, until you realize that the object in her hand had seemingly changed. Even though the footage is pretty hard to decipher, it seems as though that bloody fanny pack that she had been holding in the original clip was no longer in her possession, and instead, she appears to be holding something entirely different. This object has been the source of great speculation, as the blurry video makes it hard to definitively identify, though some, including myself, seem to think that it closely resembles a baby, and more specifically, the head of a baby.
It might be because no, I think most cops, they have been like kind of reacting or been trying to like take it away or something. It probably, if anything, it was probably like a doll head or something. So
this was the last clip we would receive from the incident, leaving behind a trail of unanswered questions and overwhelming concern for the woman shown in the clips. Though despite the popularity of this case and all the questions put forth, the answers never came. Bizarrely, no official statement would be made by the Seattle PD, despite their officers being shown in this viral video. And on top of this, despite the story being picked up,
I never heard about this. Like, this is my first time hearing about this, and this is a year later and stuff. So
clarification would be brought forward. And given the lack of context and the lack of closure, this internet mystery was born, and the theories would quickly spread like wildfire. Right out of the gate, many users would be quick to call this story a fake, believing that this was nothing more than a setup, mainly due to the lack of reporting and also because of the woman's
I was like, I never heard of it.
Given how unnatural she looked, many believe that she was simply wearing a heavy amount of makeup, with some calling her appearance and demeanor almost cartoonish. Plus, if we're being honest, TikTok is completely filled with fabricated stories just like this, leaving many set on this whole situation being fake.
It's like, I'm literally from Seattle. I was like born and raised, like I've always have visited Seattle. Now during, of course, like, the pandemic, like from 2020 all the way up until now, like I said, it's been a minute since I've been in Seattle. So like, but the thing is this, like, I always see like people carrying on and acting crazy. Like there was actually one of my locations that that I would work at and stuff there in Seattle. There was a guy that had he stabbed like a security guard in front of the like location that I had worked at. And I think from what I heard, I don't know if it's true or not, but they say like he stripped down butt naked and was running down the streets and stuff. Like, yeah, they're like from that to, of course, like shootings and stuff. Like it, Seattle is a wild spot. Like that's just all in the downtown area. Like all the things that I've talked on has always been in the downtown area. So like outside of Seattle, like the residential areas and all that, like I'm trying to think. I know I heard, like, at times, like, crazy things be going down in West Seattle, but, like, this look like it's more so in the downtown area. They don't look like West Seattle or anything else, like I said, the residential areas. This look like it could be, like, in the outskirts of, like, the downtown parts and stuff, so... Yeah, but it's all over. You're bound to see some people just, you know, being weird. I had one lady actually approach me one time, and she was, the way she was saying police, she had approached me, was like, have you ever seen, or she like, do you know where the police is at? And I'm like, police. And then what was, this is the weird part, right? She said it twice. And then when I was all like, I didn't realize what she was saying, because it's like, all right, I just got off work, I'm tired, I'm like, I just want to go home and just sleep and things. She's saying that, right? And then she's like, police, do you know where the police is at? And I'm like, why did you not just say that the first time? I'm telling you, people, there is always some weird individuals. One dude, actually, you know, no, one dude climbed a tree. This is where it was, where it used to be the Macy's building. Now I think Amazon owns that building. But homie climbed the tree and was like getting mad at cops for like telling him to get down and stuff. Like he was, bro, I'm telling you, like Seattle is wild. All right, it's a roller coaster out there, but.
This actually isn't the case. One of the few updates we've gotten in this case came from the discovery of official police dispatch radio, which was found publicly available on a site known as Broadcastify. There, users would find audio from May 5th in the Seattle area that seemed to depict this exact incident, with the audio being just as chilling as the videos themselves.
3008 16th Avenue West. There's a female walking eastbound on West Barrett Street that has blood running down her face and leg. She's also yelling and limping. She's described as a white female, 20 to 30, 5'5" to 5'7", thin build, with a shaved head and brown patches of hair. Wearing a gray t-shirt.
So it makes you wonder, like, did somebody do this to her? Like, if I could come up with a conspiracy theory of my own, it honestly it sounds like, I think somebody did this to her. You know, if she did do it to herself, then I'm like, then that woman was on some powerful drugs to do it to herself. But either way, it just sounds like something had happened and it just took a turn for the worse. And yeah, that's why she's in the, you know, she's in this situation. So.
And one white shoe. James and West Armor Street on the west side, just north of. For an ITA.
The recording seems like an exact match to these videos, from the way the subject is described, all the way to that unmistakable screaming in the background. And this is undoubtedly from the Seattle PD. It came straight from their official police line, meaning that whatever this incident truly was, the police response to it was very real. This note also seems to disprove a long-standing theory that the clips were actually from the set of a movie being filmed in the area, as coincidentally, during this exact time period, there was a major film being produced in Seattle called Kimmy.
On Monday, film crews
Yeah, but I was
were
like,
in Westlake Center shooting a new HBO movie called Kimmy.
Alright, so I don't know if they were like, I think I know what they were talking about. I think them are like two different, where she was at and where they were doing that recording at, them are two different areas. I'm like, where it looked like where she was at, I've been in that area, so where they were recording that movie, I had been in that area numerous times. And I like to, you know, to either catch the bus or go get me something to eat, but that area in particular where she's at, like I said, that looked like more of an outskirt area, and like you don't see no cameras or no other stuff like in those videos and things. So like, unless like the cameraman that that was recording the two different angles, like that's from the same person, they were just, you know, doing that for the movie's sake. But I don't think I didn't hear nothing about them recording no scary movie out here and thing. Usually that type of stuff be traveling around. I don't know. I didn't hear nothing like that. So, anyway, I mean, there was like one scary movie that was, I think it did take place. It took place. I don't know if they actually was out here, but it did take place, in Seattle. And, yeah, like, I didn't know about that until I actually watched it. So, who knows? It could have been, but I highly doubt that's the reason.
He had speculated that this was some kind of PR stunt from the project, But given the fact that this was a real police response,
yeah, like
the film has actually since come out, with there being no mention of any zombies or any similar incidences within it. This is yet another debunked theory. And while on the subject of debunked theories, I want to briefly mention what at one point had actually become the most popular theory surrounding this case, which is honestly incredibly offensive. And that is the claim that this woman was Marilyn Stanley, a woman who was brutally attacked by her ex-boyfriend and his dog, leading to devastating injuries. And because of her disfigurement, people pointed to her being the Seattle zombie woman, believing that this footage was taken just moments after her assault. However, despite so many people reporting this, it is incredibly easy to disprove, as the Marilyn Stanley attack took place in Kentucky, not Seattle. And the assault happened all the way back in 2015,
wow,
a full year before TikTok was even created, and a full 6 years before this video was filmed. This theory was never a possibility, and one Google search would have shown that, but unfortunately that didn't stop the speculation. And the outlandish theories continued from there, as some would quickly fall off the deep end, believing that this woman truly was a real-life zombie. The theory is obviously
zombie that can talk. Okay,
it was made a bit more.
She's a whisperer. I would take it.
Around the same time, there were reportedly similar occurrences emerging throughout the world of individuals looking and behaving in a similar manner.
I know a lot of people, they were thinking that that's what the world was going to be when the pandemic had started. It was like going to be some zombie stuff, but yeah, that looks staged. That don't look real. And people just be, if it is real, I know I just kept on going.
Curious, this video soon began being removed and censored from both TikTok and YouTube, with only a few versions being left throughout the web. And adding this with the fact that there was no media coverage following this event and no police statements made to the public, despite the situation's virality, it left many convinced that this was some form of a greater cover-up. But ultimately, it's not hard to tell that this theory was just fear-mongering. And at the end of the day, it's a theory that is highly unrealistic, though interesting to speculate. More logically, it's been theorized that this lady had been in some sort of car accident, as she was shown walking alongside a fairly busy road and appeared to almost be in shock, with her potentially having lost her baby in the wreck, adding to the trauma of the moment. But it seems completely unrealistic that if a child had passed away, there would have been no reports about it. I mean, surely this would have brought at least local...
Yeah, because you know, like, with those, like, people that be on drugs and stuff out here in Seattle, usually those things don't be getting reported or talked about on the news. Like, unless, like, it's some crazy stuff. Like I said, like, you know, the dude that climbed the tree and he was, I think they say he was throwing pine cones at people. Yeah, that story was crazy, but like, yeah, the guy that would be punching signs, or what are some other, like, you know, are people just like slumped from like some, like, you know, them like reacting to whatever drug they took. Yeah, you don't usually hear things like that again. So they probably might have did some sort of testing and seen that she was on drugs and was like, okay, you know, we just gotta same old that we do with anybody else that, you know, just kind of like goes like over the board with like taking drugs and stuff, and you know, to help them and go about their business and things. But that's what I personally think. I think the woman, she was on some like sort of like, she was on something
via coverage, and it definitely would have been mentioned in the police blotter, which it wasn't. And given that no mention of a child was made on the official police recording at the scene, this idea, thankfully, has been ruled out, meaning that this object was likely something entirely different. Though even with this, it still leaves the car accident theory as a very real possibility, as it could explain why she was acting this way, along with her apparent injuries. Along with this possible explanation, there was another theory that I initially thought to be the most plausible, with that being that this was all the result of drugs and/or severe mental illness, which would not only explain her behavior, but also the lack of official reporting, as a woman on drugs causing a scene is nothing all that noteworthy, especially in a major city.
Yeah, it's common out here in Seattle.
Well, drugs can literally turn people into shells of themselves and make them completely unrecognizable. Look at
that bath salt situation that happened years ago in Florida. I'm saying, like, that was crazy because you didn't hear no stuff like that, but
and her ragged and torn clothing could just be the result of potential homelessness.
Exactly.
A fate that sadly befalls far too many people in our society,
especially in Seattle.
Struggles. Though with
the homeless is better. I'm telling y'all right now, like the homelessness, even before the pandemic, it was crazy. Like, so when you're getting like off of the like so when you're leaving Seattle, right? You're going like onto the bridge, you'll see like tents like planted underneath like these bridges and stuff. You'll see like tents like up and down streets. There's been times I've seen people build camp up in front of buildings. Like I seen one guy, he had like his stuff like right in front of this business door, like to go inside and things. And you know what are some other things. Yeah, it's like, you know, you see the homelessness is like out here. And then when I heard like when the pandemic had started, like bruh, they really started going crazy and things. So yeah, it was, you know, the homelessness out here in Seattle, it's like it's some serious stuff. And yeah, you're bound to see like, you know, homeless people. It's like they ain't gonna be wearing like no fancy looking clothes, or their clothes ain't gonna be intact. Like yeah, at times their clothes gonna be ripped up, looking messed up. And then if they on drugs, like yeah, it's like, you know, body's gonna be a little bit messed up too and things. So yeah, it's just, you know, it's it sucks out here in Seattle. It's like, you know, they need to start working on that stuff. But yeah, I can vouch and tell y'all, it's like homelessness and drugs in Seattle, it is extremely strong. All right, so
said, landing on one definitive conclusion was unfortunately impossible based off the limited information available.
Yeah.
And despite there being plausible theories put forth, a true answer seemed further away than ever, especially as the months began to pass. But even though the situation began to seem hopeless, a break would soon emerge out of nowhere in the form of police body cam footage that would blow this case wide open.
Oh wow.
On March 9th, 2022, a YouTube account by the name of Rebecca MS would upload a video revealing her findings into the Seattle Zombie Woman mystery, as even though the world had seemingly forgotten about this bizarre case, Rebecca had taken it upon herself to find its true conclusion, which led her all the way to the discovery of this footage.
Hey ma'am! Hey, it's okay! You want to tell us what's going on?
That was like that footage that was in a different angle.
Is that real blood or fake blood? It almost looks like fake blood. I don't think any of this is real blood. It's all just who are you? And then your face burnt? No, it's the makeup. It took me a little bit while, but it's like almost like Halloween, like zombie makeup.
The video shows the Seattle Zombie Woman incident from the perspective of the police on scene, and although this further proves that the response to this incident was in fact real, it also proves that the incident itself was not, as the first responders began to quickly realize that this lady wasn't even injured, and she was instead wearing heavy theatrical makeup with fake blood, leaving the officers and bystanders just as confused as the rest of us. And the biggest revelation to come of all this was the discovery of this individual's true identity, with her real name being Kimberly Kasai, a revelation that would in turn lead to the discovery of her social media profiles, and ultimately the truth behind this internet mystery. Not long after the incident occurred, Kimberly would post this picture in full makeup, matching identically to the Seattle Zombie Woman, along with the caption, "I am not your lab rat." She would then make a few other posts on Facebook, which revealed that she had carried out this whole stunt as a way to voice her opinions on certain political topics, which I unfortunately can't go more into here. But in the end, despite the police and paramedic presence being
so she's just
real,
crazy. All right.
This woman, the Seattle Zombie Woman, was simply acting.
Wow.
This is truly one of the strangest cases that I've seen in a long time, since it's
That's like one of those movies where it's like all the crazy things be happening just to find out that they was like in a VR like headset. This all like, what was that? Like, like I'm sitting here thinking that this woman was like, okay, you know, it's just, you see this stuff every day. That Wow, that woman. And she, okay, so yeah, like I said, she's just crazy. Okay, cool. You know, like, that's all that needed to be said and done. Like, and that's why it didn't get reported, because I'm like, you know, like professionalized crazy. Like, there's like two different types. There's like people that's like actually got like some sort of stuff going on with them, and then there's a person that's just professionally being crazy. Like, they woke up 8 o'clock that morning and they started working on like what crazy stuff they were gonna start doing for that day. And yeah, that's like, that, in my opinion, I'm like, yeah, that's why it didn't get reported, because it's like, fam, wow, this lady, man, it's like, lady, don't stay indoors, okay? Just don't go out and do nothing.
We're so dark. And
I thought I was gonna really be like telling people about this. I'm like, bro, did you guys hear about the Seattle zombie woman? Now it's like, when I go up to people and I'm like, did you hear about that story? That woman was faking being a zombie. Like, that's crazy, man.
disturbing. Yet in reality, this was nothing more than a bizarre publicity stunt. And in the end, it's obviously a good thing that none of these theories were true,
Yeah.
and that no one was injured as a result, making this one of the very few internet mysteries that actually arrived at a definitive and
Because I was about to say, I ain't see
satisfying
nothing or hear
conclusion.
anything about this on the news. And I'm watching the
I wanna
news
give a
all the
huge Shout
time.
out to my God tier patron members: Alexander Duran, America's Grumpy Uncle, Bazoo42, Biznacker, Bray, Karen S, Charles Roble, Daniel Binge, Donovan Aaron, Emmanuel Cadena, G, Game Gamer, Jake Parsons, JB Funk, J Money, John Storch
He
Muller,
going down
Catherine
that whole
Ross,
list.
Macy, Larry Mattingly, Mark PH, Max, MyCrafty Ways, Nathan Backus, Phoenix Morgan, Sam Lutfi, Sorales Scar77, Skelly, Sub to Micro O, Unblended Korchnoi, William Berg, Zinsu Zensai, and Trucky Doggo.
I'm like, yeah, man, people, they just, you know, yeah, there's the attention seekers out there in the world, and I'm like, that was just pointless, man. I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you guys went through this emotional roller coaster like myself, because I was getting kind of scared. I'm like, bruh, like, what's going on here? And then just to find out that this one was just only doing this because of her political views or whatever, and it's like, man, that's... Yeah, sorry that I got your guys' hopes all high and things. My hopes was also high. I mean, it was like, because I was like, bro, I'm thinking like, okay, you know, this woman's on drugs. Like, she's doing better now. You know, she's living a good, decent life. And just to find out that it's like, it was a woman that's already living a good life. She just wants to live a crazy life. So... yeah, that's wild, man. But anyways, make sure, yeah, you guys go subscribe to Nick Crowley for putting this video together. Like, subscribe to me too, and I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for watching, and peace.